Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the SOMA playthrough. Last time, we wrapped up our business at Omicron after some trial and error misery with the robot girl, and descended into the Abyss after securing ourselves a new pressure-resistant body to inhabit. We also saw, once again, that Simon is not the smartest of brain scans, as he didn't quite grasp that he was being copied and pasted, not copied, cut, and pasted, or transferred. And he was a little disturbed about the other version of him that he was the copy of continuing to exist, although he did ultimately, we did choose to end the life of the previous Simon, because I think in-game, or kind of in-character Simon would want that. And we descended into the Abyss, where we continue to be haunted by Johann Ross, who we now know a bit more about. He wants to stop the WoW. He has figured out that the WoW is essentially out of control, but not in a kind of intentional, malicious AI sense, but rather it interprets its goal of preserving human life, which is, I think, a pretty good goal for any powerful AI to have, to include trying to spread distorted versions of the brain scans all over the place in all of the machines, which is the cause, in large part, of what's happened with Pathos 2 here. And we also reached Tau. We were hunted by the shambling Jin Yoshida, but we managed to get away from him and secure the Ark itself after talking with the last living human, possibly in the world. We haven't encountered Catherine Chun's corpse, though, yet, so she may be alive further ahead. We'll see. And this was Sarah Lindwall. She asked us to turn off her life support because she, at this point, was a frail, fragment of what she was before. And we complied with her request. So, we proceed deep in the Abyss with the Ark at hand. The Ark is on its way to Phi on an automated tram. Simon just needs to make sure he gets there as well. Seems pretty straightforward. We shall see if anything gets in our way. I suspect something will. We proceed. Let's not get too far behind this Ark, ideally. Actually, going a little bit ahead might not be a bad idea. Just clear the way. It's already past me. Oh, it's going. It's going fast. Oh. Well. Who is this?
What the hell is wrong with this place?
It's nothing to worry about. Just the warden flexing his muscles.
The warden? You mean WoW?
Well, down here he has many names. Warden, the Alpha.
Like in Site Alpha? I thought that was made up.
Made up. Then someone should really fire Johann Ross. Tell him there's no reason to walk these tunnels no more.
This section is gonna collapse.
You should try spending some time in the Abyss, sweetheart. You know when shit's for real.
Catherine, move up. Come with me. Oh, okay.
Hey, wait for me.
Careful with the Ark.
Take it easy. It's not going to.
I guess the caption kind of spells out what happened here.
For a moment, I thought it was going to collapse.
Okay, so Tolkov, he must have been guiding the Ark team on the way there. This is prior to their return. Alright, how do I get out of here? Yep. That's right. I sure do agree with you, my good friend, Johann Ross. Let's see. Did I miss something? It's possible I did. Oh, I did miss something. Into the cave. It's like every phobia mixed together. I'm in a tiny claustrophobic cave at the bottom of the ocean. That's just great. Phenomenal. Okay. That's nice. Now you know what we're nearby is Site Alpha, if it is between Phi and Tau, as the drawings indicated. Ah. There it is. Okay. The secret site. It is very, very overgrown. My light barely does anything here. The site where the WoW seems to be housed. Any lore to discover? Doesn't really seem like it. Okay. I'm not going this way. Let's come back around.
Tell me what you want.
I need you to stop the WoW.
What? How?
The enslaved protein sloshing around your suit is the noose from which the WoW will hang itself.
What are you talking about?
As soon as I came to in Omicron, I tried to tell them to make the toxin that would make the WoW wither. misery we created. And the girl, she figured it out. She was going to take care of it, but the WoW shrieked. They all died. You took the gel from the campus and made yourself into a venomous snake.
You're saying this toxin inside of me can kill the WoW altogether?
You are the snake, son. Now strike at the heart.
There it is.
What the hell is that?
The heart. It controls all the structure gel on Pathos 2. All you need to do is poison the imprint, and the heart will unwillingly spread it across Pathos 2, killing it. Feed it, Simon. Push your arm into the heart.
Well, from Simon's point of view, I think he probably would like to do this. Let's follow what Ross suggests and give this guy a little tap.
Please. I did what you wanted.
You did good, Simon. But you can't leave. The only way to make sure the WoW stays dead is to destroy the only one who's immune to the new pattern. Don't worry. I'll make it quick.
Oh god!
Okay. Probably shouldn't have trusted Ross after all, but choices were made. Not going that way. Probably need to go that way. Yep. Alright, let's go. Oh, okay. I'm not going that way. That's not the way to go. Definitely not. Certified wrong direction for us to head at this moment. Alright. Excellent! Oh yeah, this is a great location for me to be at this moment. Let's go in here. Okay. Will this even work still? It seems to. Okay. Alright. I'm guessing this guy is not going to be dissuaded by light. Let's wait for him to be coming around. Barely see anything. I see him. Go. Need a place to go. Need a shelter. I said I need a shelter. Shelter? How about a place I can be in a shelter? Wouldn't that be neat? Wouldn't that be swell? Wouldn't that be... A-okay! Okay. Alright. Yeah. I see you. I see that you're there. Okay. Alright. This feels like a poor decision to make. I think death is imminent. Oh, I'm very much not in a shelter at this moment. Nope. Yep. Okay. listen. Right. Just go. Just go. Get into this thing. Ugh. Poor decisions have been made by me. Decisions that are poor. Oh, this is this gonna count? Maybe. I shouldn't have gone right then. He's gonna get me. Where is he? There he is. Go, 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 go. Go. Come on, come on. Go, go, go. Okay. Nope, 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 nope. Let me in! Let me in! Let me in! Go! Get. Let me in! Get out of the way! Where's the door? Oh my god. Not gonna catch me within 100,000 miles of a drop of water after this playthrough. New fears unlocked. Ugh.
This has to be Phi, right? Hope the Ark made it here in one piece.
I definitely heard something.
Chris, what the hell happened to your arm?
It's complicated. I just need to know one thing. I'll have both my arms in the Ark, right?
Yes, of course. Are you okay, though? Can you do stuff?
Yeah. Let's just get this over with.
Did you find the Ark?
I did, but I kinda lost it on my way here on an automated tram thing headed to Phi. So it should be around somewhere.
That's great. Let's go get it.
Okay.
Alright, Phi is up and running.
That's pretty good news. Surprisingly, not too grisly here. Launch down. That seems promising.
Did you find out what happened to the Ark team?
Not really. For some reason, they didn't go through with the launch, so they took the Ark back to Tau.
I hope everything's okay with the space gun.
Yeah, I doubt I'll be able to repair one of those.
Loading dock. Okay. Site map. Okay, here we are in Phi. Yeah, this is Phi, right? Or are we in Tau? I think this is Phi. Hold on. Yeah, this is Phi. That's right. Okay. All right, so here's the site map. So we're in the control deck. There's a storage area with a someone there. Launch dome assembly. OSG
A
overview.
satellite is loaded into a shell. The shell is accelerated by electromagnets along the barrel. Enough momentum to escape Earth's gravity is gained before regression. Reaching space, the satellite will shed the shell and unfold. Onboard thrusters settle the satellite into an orbit.
Okay. Omega Space Gun overview. Tunnel transport. TT-1 5 cargo bay contents arc. Status requires manual offload. That's probably what that is. Staff activity. Incoming. So, oldest one is Hill, and then Avashkin, and then Sichun. Actually, okay, this is the 4 that came in on December 27th of last year. Peterson, Linwald, Chun, Avashkin, and Hill. And then Herber. Oh yeah, that's me. I just arrived. R. Herber. That's the body that I'm in. 511, so that's the current date. Outgoing. Exit, Hill, Avashkin, Linwald, and Peterson. So I'm noticing a certain person entered but did not exit. Activity. 11:14, one last visit. 12:27, launch in the Ark. 5:11, that's today. Unsigned R. Herber visit. Launch log. Week 488. Project TACT SX. Owner Haimatsu. Type orbital platform freighter. Launch 2102. This is a long time ago. 12:19. Mission complete. Okay. Then another one. Luna Prospects. Week 489. Sino-Indian Federation communication satellite. Zentriller Deutscher Kern reconnaissance satellite. Okay, weather satellite. After 10 years of impeccable operation, the Omega Space Gun will shut down, but it took an apocalypse to be made redundant.
This
Okay.
feels like the longest day of my life. Has it just been one day?
I have no idea. Our time together is a confusing patchwork of moments to me.
What time is it then? What day?
It's May 11th, 2104, 3:30 a.m., but I don't remember when we started.
We're not going through here without the Omni tool. Probably can't retrieve it. Nope. Right, so we now have I think we actually did see that date before, but that's the first time it's directly addressed. May 11th. Because of our broken arm, we have to climb down more slowly.
You know, I woke up in my bed today. It just happens to have happened 100 years ago.
Sounds like a riddle.
It does. I woke up in my bed today, 100 years ago. Who am I? Who am I?
Okay.
It's crazy to think where I am. Not only is this the future, it's in the middle of the sea. I know nothing of this time or what the world looks like.
Not much to brag about now. Before the comet, I guess it was okay.
Yeah, better not oversell it. Might change my mind about the Ark.
You seriously not gonna tell me what happened to your arm?
I had to make a quick stop at Site Alpha to help kill the WoW.
What? How? Why?
Stop it from torturing the memory of humanity.
Okay, let's just get back to work.
What will you do when you get into the Ark? What's the first thing?
Make sure the Ark is safe, stabilize flight path, activate solar panels.
What's the first human thing you're gonna do?
Oh. Watch the clouds roll by? Does that count?
I'd say so.
So to open these doors one by one, moving that pack around.
All right, found the Ark.
Good job, Simon. Now we just need to find the assembly space so we can stuff the Ark into a shell.
simply space. Well, maybe not. Loading platform, that sounds promising. Oh. I think I know who this is.
Are you suggesting we keep it down here? Doesn't that defeat the whole purpose? Eternity among the stars, remember?
The people inside the Ark won't know the difference. We can just keep it down here, and we don't have to risk the Ark being shot through 5,000 meters of broken barrel, and then push through another 100,000 meters of a dust-filled atmosphere.
Will the casing stand all that pressure?
Well, the odds aren't great.
Catherine, say something.
I don't care what you think. I'm launching it.
No need to be like that. Let's just hang on to it for a while and think about it. We can launch it later.
No, that wasn't the deal. We made it to save them. To launch it. Out there, it's hope. Down here, it's a fucking terrarium waiting to die with the rest of us.
Come on, Catherine. It's not asking much. Let's just think about it before we risk the only hope humanity has to survive this hell.
No, we launch it today. This is my project, my Ark.
It's bigger than that. Don't you get it? It's not for you to decide. We're talking about the fate of mankind.
Get away from the Ark! I'm taking it.
No, you're not.
I'm not gonna let you ruin this.
Stop it!
Guys, calm down!
Get away from me! No!
What did you do?
It was an accident.
Catherine, talk to me. Catherine.
Oh, God. Catherine,
Did you say something?
it's you. You had an accident.
What are you... Oh. You mean Catherine. Don't worry, it's better this way.
It's an ominous way to feel about it, but okay. Wouldn't put it past AI Catherine to be rather grim. Probably need the power connector. Let's go back and get it.
How did she die?
You got into a fight with your colleagues. They didn't want to risk launching the Ark. Thought it might not make it through the atmosphere.
They killed me?
I'm sure it was an accident. They were just trying to stop you from launching.
Let me see what this does actually. Well, let me open that door.
How could they kill me?
Catherine,
I know I'm not an easy person to like. I just thought they trusted me.
come on. Don't do this to yourself.
Eh.
Did you have friends in Toronto, Simon? Real friends?
There was some. Jesse, Sean, Kevin.
I always wanted a friend. Like a real one, someone you'd never hold back with.
I'll be your friend.
Oh, pity friendship? Now I feel even worse.
Do you think the Ark will make it through the atmosphere and into space?
It almost doesn't matter anymore.
Is that it?
I'm really not that familiar with guns of any size. Oh, here we go. All systems say go.
Lock and load.
Contact up and we'll head out to the gun.
Guess we missed whatever she was gonna say there, but no going back now. I'm gonna take this with me, I think. I think I need the tool. Let's climb back up.
Now what?
Now we just need to get the shell into the gun and then, kaboom.
Aren't you forgetting something? How are you gonna get us on board the Ark? Don't we need to make another scan?
Oh, don't you worry. You don't operate something like the Omega space gun with your bare hands.
You mean, it's a pilot seat? Like back at Omicron?
Yes, and we can use it to transfer you to the Ark while operating the gun. 2 birds and all that. Now, take the Omnitool and plug it in next to the seat and I'll guide you through the final steps.
Okay. Launch dome. Okay, here we are.
I'll never get used to that.
Guess you won't have to. Not after this is over.
Right. Have a seat.
Here we go. Onto the Ark.
Comfortable?
As good as it's gonna get.
Okay, I'll activate the seat. You should be able to use the machines to load the bullet you assembled.
How do you operate this thing?
Don't know, I never tried this one. But pilot seats are notoriously easy to use, so it shouldn't be a problem.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, ready when you are. Just hit the button and we're off.
But we need to transfer our minds to the Ark.
We also need to make sure it launches at all, so I tied them to a single switch. Just push the button and we're off.
Doesn't seem like the best way of doing this, but okay. Guess we've got to trust Catherine.
What are you waiting for?
Here we go. No turning back.
Thank you, Simon.
Don't mention it.
It's an amazing thing you did. And I want you to know I appreciate it.
Catherine goes first, of course.
20 seconds.
What's the matter with the upload?
Just give it a second.
I thought you guys would have better bandwidth in the future.
10 seconds. 9, 8, 7, 6.
You gotta be kidding me!
5, 4, 3.
Come on, load!
2.
Yes! Fuck yeah, we made it! Woo! still here. I'm still here. Catherine? Catherine?
I'm here.
What the hell happened? What went wrong?
Nothing. They're out there, among the stars. We're here.
No. We were getting on the Ark. I saw it. It finished loading just before it launched.
Yeah, I saw.
Then why are we still here?
Simon, I can't keep telling you how it works. You won't listen. You know why we're here. You were copied onto the Ark. You just didn't carry over. You lost the coin toss. We both did. Just like Simon at Omicron, just like the man who died in Toronto 100 years ago.
No, this is bullshit. We came all this way. We launched the Ark.
I know it sucks, but our copies are up there. Catherine and Simon are both safe on the Ark. Be happy for them.
Are you crazy? We're gonna die down here with those fuckers living at large on a spaceship. They're not us. They're not us.
I'm sorry you feel that way, Simon. I'm proud of what we did. We made sure that something of the hundreds of thousands of years of human history survives, that something lives on.
No. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck you. Fuck you, Catherine. You lied. And I believed in you. I trusted you. You said we're getting on the fucking Ark.
We are on the Ark, you idiot. I didn't lie. I can't be responsible for your goddamn ignorance. You
fuck! Catherine? Please don't leave me alone. Catherine? Catherine?
And that is Soma. Whew. Wow. What a game. I'm gonna let the credits play because, as you may imagine, there's some hidden stuff after the credits. But yeah, that is one of my favorite video games of all time. Hard mode mod definitely made it a lot harder, which is exactly what I hoped it would do. And yeah, the story of Soma is just so like thought-provoking in a way that video game stories often don't get to be. So I just really love the sci-fi horror, capabilities of this genre. Once you're talking about the idea of the human consciousness separate from the body, something that can be used like a computer program, it really opens up an entire world of possibilities of what it means to be a person, what it means to have experiences. And I think that a lot of the horror of Soma isn't what's on the face of it, right? The text itself, but the subtext, right? Thinking about, what it is like to be one of these brain scans that's put into these different machines, right? The brain scan installed by the WoW and the Dunbat, or the brain scans that are in some of these other weird machines, like how your mind has to conceive of your existence in this weird warped way. And the Simon brain scan that we've been playing as, it has been this template used and experimented on by people like Catherine for a long time, right? Thinking about how Brandon's brain scan, the Brandon Wan brain scan, how real and how kind of continuous that brain scan was from when the scan happened from the actual person. And then thinking about Simon's brain scan over and over and over being used in these different ways that may have been torturous for him, right? And I think what's really great as well is that from the very beginning of the game, if you're paying attention, you can find these clues that I've pointed out as we go, that you're playing as the brain scan, right? In the first episode, we saw some of those clues, but I'll talk more about that in just a moment first.
Whoa. Is this... Did it work?
Welcome. If you're reading this, you've successfully entered the ARC. This survey is designed to give the developers a better understanding of your subjective experience and how to improve your well-being. Please continue with the survey. And here we are. The survey we saw all the way back at, I think, Beta. But this is the one in the ARC. I think Simon at this... So this copy of Simon we're now playing as for this section is... you know, his experience is that he went from being in the pilot seat at the Omega Space Gun directly here. So he doesn't even know. He probably doesn't even realize that the way that he thinks of it, the coin toss, failed for the other Simon. So he's pretty happy. I think I feel normal. Actually, you know what? I feel invigorated. A better version of myself. How do you describe your mental condition? I feel normal. How do you describe your senses? I feel more sensitive to and aware of my surroundings. How do you describe the sensation of your new condition? It's pleasant. Are you troubled by the fact that you are no longer strictly human? I don't care what form I take as long as I get to carry on. How do you perceive your new existence? It's a direct continuation of my previous self. Do you think this new existence will be a life worth living? Yes, just as much as my previous life. Would you rather be removed from the project and accept death? No. The answers have been saved. Thank you for participating. Catherine really did a pretty good job with this simulation. Look at that. You can see Utopia just over the horizon there. Wow.
Catherine?
Look who it is.
Catherine! I can't believe we actually made it.
Well, we did.
I'm so relieved.
It's okay, Simon. Everything's all right now.
Alright. Congratulations on beating my mod. Don't forget to leave a rating on the Steam Workshop page if you enjoyed it. Now go grab yourself a beer. You've earned it. I sure did earn that. That was... If you've never played or watched a playthrough of the unmodded SOMA, this was way harder than regular unmodded SOMA. So I am actually pretty impressed that I managed to beat this. And this also marks the, technically, I can't believe I'm saying this, the first video series on my YouTube channel I've ever fully completed. Yeah, wow. That was Soma. So, I really like this game, and I think that it does something with the genre of sci-fi horror that only really a video game can do as a artistic expression, which is that it because you're playing from the first person, right? You're playing from the perspective of a character in the story. The story being about perspective is able to keep you immersed in the mindset of Simon. I remember when Soma first came out, I actually watched a couple different Let's Plays of it, and then I also played it myself at the time, many years ago. This game is about 9 years old. And I remember some of the Let's Plays I watched of Soma, the Let's Player either kind of understood what the twist at the end would be, or they didn't really get it. They were kind of like Simon in a way, where they were caught off guard by the revelation at the end that it wasn't a transfer, but a copy and paste. But the slightly more, let's just say, intuitive playthrough, channels and Let's Players, they got where this was going. And I think something else about Soma that this mod really makes me appreciate, and this is true in the base game to a large part as well, I don't think this mod makes many mechanical changes to the way the different AI monsters work, is all of the various encounters in this game, many of them have a kind of gameplay theming that also has to do with perspective. And this is a bit of an esoteric point, but if you think about it, right, the proxy in the, or not the proxy, what's the name for it? I think it's called the Mockingbird in the code, but like the monster from the first episode in the thermal plant at Upsilon, it can see you, it can hear you, but it moves slowly, it projects its vision directly in front of it, and it paths around in a predictable way. It's just there to teach you how encounters work. Nothing too complicated. But then right after that, we have, I believe it's called the Thresher, the guy with the eyes, the one in the Curie, and then the one right before it, where looking at it gets its attention. So using your vision is a gameplay mechanic in a way that really, as you saw in episode 2, the way that I had to navigate through that area was way different because of how that mechanic changed my gameplay. And then the proxy in episode 3 in the basement reacts just to sound, can't see you at all. And then Acres in episode 4 plus the proxy, and in a little bit of episode 5, same thing. It just completely based on sound. It can sense you right next to it, but looking at it doesn't cause any effect. Sound is everything. And then the Robot Girl in episode 6, based on, again, sound a little bit, but largely based on sensing movement, right? Movement as a mechanic is how that monster detects you. Sort of. I'm still not 100% sure. And then lastly, in the previous episode, episode 7, I guess it would have been, Jin Yoshida, he, again, he sort of knows where you are all the time. He has great senses, but he stops moving a little bit when you look at him. So using your vision becomes this gameplay mechanic with Jin. And then, out in the deep, the swarm of fish, it avoids the light. The big kind of worm monster, it can't get into the tight spaces. The anglerfish, they don't really have any way to fight them. You just have to run away. But the main encounter sections, right, putting aside those sort of more environmental dangers, the main encounter sections, all, except for the tutorial monster, who is very, very easy to kind of make sense of. He has a clear path. He's very robotic. All the other encounters are using gameplay that really comes down to movement and positioning. So in a game where you have no weapons, no way to fight back, all of your kind of controls are about movement and how you look, how you move around, the noise you make, crouching versus walking versus running. All of these mechanics that are about controlling your character are the mechanics that the monsters in this game use to navigate and to find you. And I actually think that's a really clever, very simple way of doing this design, where they don't have super complicated, weird, hard to understand mechanics, except for the Robot Girl, who I still think is not very well explained, and I wish there was some sort of in-game explanation to help me figure out how her mechanics worked before I encountered her, but whatever. sort of understanding the way that they all work, all of their experiences, all of these encounters, use your movement and your maneuvering, right? The main way that you control Simon as how they react to you. And I think that's really cool. That in this game, all about perspective and kind of messing with and tripping out your perspective and your sense of who you are and where you are, that movements and controls, like physically controlling your character, are the core mechanic that the monsters use and that you have to keep in mind. It's a great way to take a game that doesn't have any combat, doesn't have different kinds of weapons, doesn't have anything where it's like, oh, this monster's weak against this kind of weapon or this kind of weapon. They all react to you in a way that directly responds to the very limited set of actions you can take as Simon, right? Of moving him around, of maneuvering around the environment, looking for things to bump into. So this is a game that I think basically perfectly captures what it means to design encounters with an extremely limited set of variables, where the things these monsters can do mechanically other than just run at you are so thoroughly explored with just the limited set of things of you can move around, you can bump into things, you can manipulate objects on the ground. As you saw, with the sound-based monsters, I was constantly using object manipulation to control the space as best as I could. So I think that not only, and this is ultimately kind of my thesis statement here at the end of the series, is that SOMA is widely regarded as an incredible story and an okay game. That the gameplay of SOMA is looked down on as kind of a step down, kind of in between the widely regarded gameplay excellence of Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Because if you don't know, SOMA was made by the same developers that made Amnesia: The Dark Descent, hence why it's so similar in a gameplay sense. It's sort of seen as, by many people, in between the high level of gameplay of Amnesia: The Dark Descent and the very kind of ethereal sort of walking simulator, that's at least the slur used against it, of Amnesia: A Machine for Pigs, which is the sequel to Amnesia, or certainly a sequel, like the spin-off game to Amnesia, made by another developer while the main team was working on SOMA. And A Machine for Pigs has a very deep, very involved story and narrative, but very minimal gameplay. And many people consider SOMA to be in between the very minimal gameplay of A Machine for Pigs and the fleshed out, mechanically complicated gameplay, or more mechanically complicated gameplay of Amnesia: The Dark Descent, where there's constant mechanics like sanity, light, oil for your light, your lantern, and so on and so forth. I actually think that I consider SOMA to be just as mechanically engaging as Amnesia: The Dark Descent. But the way that I look at it is that Amnesia: The Dark Descent is a game with basically 2 or 3 kinds of encounters and a continuous, constant mechanical experience involving resource management and light management and so on. SOMA is a game with maybe up to 10 different kinds of encounters, and there's less continuity between them. There's no need to manage resources between them. Every encounter could be its own standalone experience with no resource management prior to that. But I'm actually okay with that. I think that SOMA does have a resource management system in a way, which is your health, right? The wildflowers, which restore your health, also sometimes drain energy from the areas around them. And so as you saw throughout this playthrough, I actually often second-guessed, should I actually use a wildflower, because I don't know if it's going to lock me out of something else. Now, SOMA also has a lot of the side areas. Instead of having extra resources and whatnot to find, it has extra lore to find. And the depth of this game's lore does go even deeper than what we saw in this extremely long, overlong playthrough. I don't know how many total hours this playthrough ended up being. It's probably over 15 hours of SOMA gameplay, of me largely trying to progress and looking at everything. So there's such depth to this game's backstory. There's so many details I probably missed, even though I was trying my best to catch all of them. And I definitely recommend, if you are intrigued by the way I played this game and want to see just how deep and kind of well thought out this game's lore and environmental storytelling really gets, there's some excellent videos on YouTube. I recently rediscovered, I wanted to wait till I finished the game so I wouldn't spoil some of the ending parts for myself again, but there's a YouTube series that I remember really liking called like SOMA lore, and it's like a couple different parts where it's someone many years ago, I think 7 or 8 years ago, who went through each of the sites and basically explains how all the lore and the environmental storytelling adds up in a way that when you're playing the game, running away from the monsters, you can't really track that so easily, right? I was trying my best, but obviously I had other priorities, such as progressing through the game. But there's also some excellent SOMA icebergs on YouTube, you know, the iceberg format, with some really cool details that I probably even missed. I was trying my best to note all the details that I thought were relevant to speaking on the deeper implications and story of the game, but there's so much, and the game does have just a plethora of information that a lot of it's out of order, a lot of it's not going to really make sense out of context. So I think that if you've enjoyed this playthrough, which I hope you have, I recommend checking out other SOMA content on YouTube. Even though this game is very contained, right? It's a very structured, contained narrative experience. I think it really speaks to the depth of the environmental storytelling abilities of this team, and really goes to show, you know, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, which is often really rightly praised for its environmental storytelling, really could have gone much further in terms of the depth of what could have been there, and I think SOMA really delivered that. Not to mention, I think sci-fi horror is just a really underutilized genre for gaming. And I actually plan, in the future, not right away, because I want to get back to the Imperator Rome content most of you watch my channel for. At some point, I want to play another one of my favorite sci-fi horror experiences on my channel, which is the game Alien Isolation, another game that I've played before and beat before, and that game also deeply scares me. That game is a bit more of a standard horror game than SOMA. It's a bit less esoteric. But putting that aside, and to kind of wrap up this little review here at the end of the playthrough, I think SOMA is a top-tier gaming experience, especially on your first time through. And I hope that in my playthrough, if you've never played SOMA before, you've enjoyed this experience as a first time through. Because SOMA immerses you, again, no pun intended, in the perspective of its character in a way where this is a story about perspective and a story about misdirection and being unsure what you are, when you are, who you are. And a game where you're in a first-person perspective, navigating this world, can do so much to really put you in that position. And I think that this really goes to show, as a medium of art, gaming is especially good at messing around with perspective and kind of how you experience things. Like, that's something that gaming as an art form is uniquely capable of doing in a way that a SOMA movie couldn't pull off, right? Because the things about SOMA, and there were actually SOMA little short films made by the team as promotion for the game. And those short films are able to capture some of the body horror and the kind of like disturbing implications of the WoW and so on and so forth. But the really scary part of this game isn't a jump scare or like disturbing imagery or, you know, this or that, things that other games and movies and books can do. It's the experience of being so disoriented about what it means to exist in a body as a person, right? To play as a person, to be in a simulation as a person. It's just so effective at that disorientation, and it really makes you think about what does it mean to be human, right? That's ultimately what SOMA is about, is humanity and what it means to be human. Because ultimately, even though in this playthrough we destroyed the WoW as per Ross's instructions, what the WoW was doing was not evil, right? Or not, you know, malicious, or however you want to think about it. The WoW is trying to preserve humanity because from the WoW's point of view, the brain scans are human, right? And if we accept that the brain scans are not human, then we're not human, and we never were human since our brain scan back in Toronto. So I think this game does a great job, if anything, just being a kind of step forward in the art of video game storytelling. Really embracing that gaming as a narrative for storytelling isn't just about simulating movies, right? Having cinematics, having stuff out of your control, but placing you in a story where the point of the story is to be disoriented and to second guess what it means to control who you're playing as, right? What it means to be a person, what it means to be human, again, at the end of the day. That's the core question of SOMA. And I think the game doesn't give you a definitive answer, right? The game doesn't have an agenda of, brain scans are just as human as someone like Sarah Lindwall, like the last living human in the world, seemingly. And it leaves it up to you to decide how you feel about that question. And I think that that's ultimately a great thing that this game pulls off, is it lets you think about what that means and about the implications of all the actions you took on the way to the dark ending that copy of a copy of Simon ended up experiencing at the base of the Omega Space Gun. So that is going to wrap up the SOMA playthrough. Thank you all so much for watching, and I've never actually finished a series before, so I guess I can't say I'll see you next time. I guess just thank you for watching, and let me know in the comments what you thought about the SOMA playthrough. Thank you all so much, and take care.